Lowe's is my new go-to destination for discovering the newest Craftsman products, including mechanics, tool sets, storage, and more, in-store and online, like the 120-tooth ratchet. It's got a 3-degree arc swing that lets you loosen or tighten bolts with less movement in those hard-to-reach spots. Plus, it comes in gunmetal chrome finish. It's not only sharp-looking, makes them corrosion-resistant. Shop the new home of Craftsman today at lowes.com/footballers. That's lowes.com/footballers.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from Draft.com Studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, we're back. Hey! Ha! Kia!
I'm fired up, man.
Welcome in. Friday, September 7th, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. We're here. We've got one game in the books.
What a game it was.
What a garbage dumpster pile of trash. That game
Oh, it was bad.
Terrible.
That game was bad.
No, it had a great ending.
You had, and I mean this, you had a solid 30 seconds of game time that was awesome.
45 seconds, 50 seconds.
I'll give you 2 minutes and 16 seconds from when they got the
Look,
ball.
it definitely played the part of first game of the season. No doubt about it. In terms of rust and issues and 6-1 Nick Foles.
The camera panning up to Roger Goodell. I don't know if you caught this.
I've seen the GIF.
But
I have not caught it.
The man he looked sweaty. He looked upset. He looked a little bit scared as he was watching down on his product launching with an absolute stinker of a first game, but it doesn't matter because we scored fantasy points last night.
That's right. We're going to talk about that on the show today. We'll get into the rest of the fantasy forecast. We'll catch you up on injury news. We've got the Daily Dose. It is jam-packed on the show today. We'll have you ready for week one. There are so many questions because as fantasy football players and living in a world of Twitter, we love conclusions. What was that old Office Space, the jump to conclusions, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Because you jump to conclusions.
Yeah, and that was what Twitter was. I saw Jay Ajayi victory laps in the first quarter from the analysts that hated him. Now, I don't think we took a really strong opinion on Jay Ajayi either direction, but you got both sides of that.
My
pendulum swung both directions last night.
Jay Ajayi owners, the first half, we're going, what is happening? Corey Clement, Darren Sproles, Wendell freaking Smallwood was out there ahead of Jay Ajayi. And then
the Darren Sproles tilt was extremely strong. We all watched the game here at the Footballers headquarters as we do with the first game of the season. And there was far more Jay Ajayi rooting going on in this room than I had realized. I have him in the listener league. Brooks has him in a league or two. Brooks' girlfriend has Jay Ajayi. So all of us were freaking out.
It's very entertaining to watch people who own a player like that when the season starts because the expressions that Brooks would let out, they made no sense in the framework of the regular game. It was just like if anything happened, Jay Ajayi could have done it better in that situation.
The best line.
Jay Ajayi could have thrown that ball to Nelson Aguilar better.
The best line he probably could have. That's a fair point. But the best line from Brooks last night was the Eagles running a 2-minute drill before the half, and it was like 2nd and 3 or something. And Brooks is getting mad that Jay Ajayi didn't run the ball. It's like, Brooks, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that one up.
All right.
It was fabulous.
We'll get into the full Thursday night recap momentarily. It is Friday, which means
FootClan Friday.
every Friday we like to take a moment to reward somebody from our membership community, the FootClan.
Yeah.
You can find about 6,000 of you over at jointhefoot.com. Our listener community, you get an extra episode every week. You get access to the community forums. It's a great place to hang out with good people. And today's winner is Fabian Martin.
Oh, what's Fabian Martin going to take home today?
Last year we were just, if you won FootClan Friday, you got a $40 gift card to
That's really nice.
shopballers.com. It's not $40 anymore.
Oh, no, that's not nice.
Is it $50?
No, it's not $50.
Wait a minute.
Oh! $55.
That's real nice.
To Fabian Martin, we give away a gift card each and every Friday. So congratulations. Appreciate your support. Follow us on Twitter at the FF Ballers. If you want to witness various tilting through the year, you can follow Mike at FF Hitman.
Oh, it was tilting.
Follow Jason at JasonFFL. He did a little Devonta Freeman tilting last night.
Yeah.
And then I'm at Andy Holloway. And, I'll tilt as well. We will all share our emotions in a very impulsive way on Twitter.
I'm just drawing the conclusion now. I'm not sure how.
Are you jumping to it?
No.
Okay.
This is not a jump, but this is exactly what happened with Mike Gillislee.
Yep.
To start the season last year, the Thursday night game, Patriots-Chiefs, it was Gilly. We were all in. Gilly, he's going to succeed. He's going to be the guy. Snap one for the Patriots. Rex Burkhead comes out, and then by the end of the game, lo and behold, who's got 2 rushing touchdowns?
3.
Was it 3?
Yeah. Gilly had the triple in week 1 last year.
However, if that template plays out, it's going to be a tough season for Jay Ajayi.
Which is the big question people have.
So let's start there with Jay Ajayi. He played just 28 of the 71 offensive snaps last night. Sent a chill through the souls of fantasy owners. From what I can see and what Doug Peterson wants to do, you're playing a little bit of running back roulette with this roster. That being said, he still dominated the total carries.
Yes.
15 carries, 62 yards, 4.1 a carry, 2 touchdowns, got in the end zone, did what they needed him to do. Darren Sproles had 5 carries. Corey Clement had 5 carries. By the way, Corey Clement at times, I feel like he was there was like a hologram of some other defender out there. He had to move his legs like 1,000 times a minute, or else he would
juking no one.
It was like a Keanu Reeves speed situation. You have to keep the legs moving above 70 miles an hour, or you're going to explode. Don't know what that was about.
Yeah,
I have questions about him too. But let's start with Jay Ajayi, because the question that fantasy owners have had thus far is, do you sell high?
Yeah.
Do you sell? Last year, if you sold high on Gillislee, it was the best decision you could have made. It's Thursday night. Everybody's eyes are on the game. Jason, Mike, I need to know. Do you have an answer to that question? Because we don't want to overreact.
Yeah,
but you got to take a side.
No, absolutely. And if I had Jay Ajayi, I would try to sell high. But the key word there is high. If you can take what he did with everyone's eyeballs on him and translate that to an absolute RB1 value.
Marshawn Lynch. Would you trade him for Marshawn Lynch?
No.
Okay.
No way. I would rather have Jay Ajayi than Marshawn Lynch. But if you could trade him for an RB1 type of value, then I would capitalize on it, because while you saw – I would say that's about the same tier.
Yeah, and you can't even do that right now because Jay Ajayi is locked.
Well, sure. I'm trying to figure out what tier you're talking about.
Okay. I'm talking about, you take Jay Ajayi, you package him with some other player, and you upgrade
to Kareem Hunt,
exactly, something like that, where you can really truly upgrade for sure. The good and the bad with Ajayi is going to continue all year.
Yes,
we saw this with Doug Peterson last year. There's not going to be a 1-back system in place here, or even a 2-back. There's going to be a 4 running back system for Peterson every game. It's going to change from game to game. It's going to be frustrating. But the good news is that it does appear that Jay Ajayi is the goal line back for very good offense once Wentz gets back, and a very good offensive line right now. So there is certainly value to be had, but it's going to be a frustrating time, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. You don't have to sell Ajayi, but he's going to be the perfect player come the end of week 1. One of the studs is going to underwhelm, and people will freak out after week 1. So you might be able to flip Ajayi for that player.
Stash or trash question with 2 players, Corey Clement and Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace was completely shut out last night.
Yeah,
despite Nelson Aguilar, 8 receptions for 33 yards.
Yeah, I would say Mike Wallace was shut out by Nick Foles.
Right.
There was a play where,
but that could be the case for 3 weeks. Are you going to really hold on to Mike Wallace for 3 weeks, or are you going to trade him in?
That's the news
for a new model.
The news that came out yesterday on Carson Wentz was the team is expected and preparing for him to miss multiple weeks.
Yes, him and Alshon now.
Right.
So be aware, the Eagles, what you saw last night is going to be more of the same of what you're seeing. Their schedule opens up. It's much easier the next few weeks than against the Falcons, but the same roster without Alshon, without Wentz for the next several weeks. I would trash Corey Clement, and I would trash Mike Wallace for right now. And then I would be willing to pick up Mike Wallace when Carson Wentz comes back and has an arm that can hit him.
Sproles' fantasy numbers weren't there. I mean, he was 5 for 10 on the ground. He was 4 for 22 through the air. You don't get points per snap. It was exciting to see him out there. What do you do with – would you rather have Sproles as a stash than Clement?
100%, yes. If I'm in any kind of PPR league, he's going to have a –
Clement did Clement didn't get any pass catching, but he did flash a big 21-yard run.
Yeah, that's really all he did. Clement's it looks like he's just going to be the handcuff. All offseason, it was will Clement retain the red zone role that he was establishing last year. So far through 1 week, it does not look like that, so he is just a handcuff, and Sproles is just an eater of value for the other running backs.
Now
I don't want him.
I want to flip to the other side of the ball.
You were asking stash or – what was that
Stash
called? Matt Ryan. Stash or Matt Ryan. Okay, yeah,
I remember.
I don't agree.
I
don't agree with that assessment, believe it or not.
What? I don't believe it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I do believe it because you just said it, but I don't agree.
Wow.
Well, I want to pull back a little bit because here's what we know. Matt Ryan has arguably the best wide receiver in football on his roster. Julio Jones last night was unbelievable. 10 for 169. Matt Ryan played against, on the road, he went and played against maybe a top 3 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right?
Certainly.
And, yes, it wasn't the best night. 21 for 43, 251, did not throw a touchdown. Red zone struggles continue. We could talk at length about that. I just think it's a bad call to overreact to Matt Ryan's debut last night because he has one of the best receivers in the game, and he played against the best defense on the road. If he was going into Denver, Russell Wilson's might struggle this week.
Sure.
Are you going to ruin him?
It depends on how it comes because my issue with Matt Ryan, I tweeted this out I think it was the beginning of the second quarter where I said he looks like as bad as any quarterback in the league. Had nothing to do with the great defense. He was missing every throw. He didn't place anything where it should be. When he hit a guy,
had no velocity.
No velocity. Everything was this.
I did see someone said he was throwing toilet paper rolls.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
That's the problem. Is he looked like something was wrong.
Exactly. I wanted after the game something to come out and say my shoulder or something was hurting. Nothing after the game spoke of why all of his passes had no heat on it.
19 targets for Julio.
Yeah, one away from the NFL record, I believe.
Now, Mike, you struggle with Steve Sarkisian in the red zone offense.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's talk about that briefly because I don't know what you're supposed to do. Because what happens is Julio Jones, he has his breakfast, lunch, and dinner between the 20s. I mean, he threatens with the deep speed. He's the crossing routes in the middle of the field, and he's just always open there, and he just gobbles up yardage. But when you get into that pinched 10 zone range, they double and triple team Julio Jones.
Well, then,
and look, in the playoff game last year, forcing it to him didn't make a difference and didn't work. Forcing it to him last night didn't work. So what do you do? Is it about inventive play calling for him?
It starts with that, but first of all, Julio was off the field for a ton of those plays. He was there at the end, and they went overboard with forcing it to him because Tevin Coleman, I think he was running a slant on that final play and was wide open. So they got out of control of trying to get to the star player on the final play. But Julio being off the field, running the exact same jumbo package where you have the Eagles know exactly what you're going to do. And that's the problem. My problem with that is old school football. We've seen the good offensives. They've moved on. They've moved past that where you just say, yep, we're going to run, try and stop us.
Well, and you see the Eagles do that. The Eagles have got motion all the time. They're doing a lot of different things.
You spread it out. I mean, the play where they went jumbo, and then they went 2 tight ends wide.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?
Granted, that should have been a touchdown to Devonta Freeman, but Matt Ryan just missed it.
All right, we have so much to get to. We can't stay on that game all night.
I wish
Obviously,
we could.
Matt Ryan's struggles, whether you buy them as a major problem or not, did not affect Julio Jones. That's the headline there for fantasy owners. Julio had a monster week. He's going to continue to. It's just a matter of can he score. He almost broke one of those long, that one across the middle.
And the concerns on the Freeman-Coleman split, turns out that Freeman hurt his knee through the game. It does not appear to be serious. We'll update you earlier next week, but that was the cause for why Freeman was off the field so much.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Let's get into the rest of the injury news.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Oh, we're back. In or out? Sony Michel, Patriots running back?
I think
he's got a knee injury. Do you think he's going to be in or out?
I think he'll be out week 1.
Yeah,
regardless,
you're not playing him. Out of your lineup. Yes.
Marshawn Lynch, the groin injury.
Yeah, my groin.
In.
Marlon Mack.
I'm gonna say out.
I think out.
He got back to practice on Thursday, but I lean out.
All right, wide receivers. Will Fuller with the hamstring.
I think he will play, but this is trouble.
Don't start him.
This is trouble. When a speedster has hurt his hamstring early on in the preseason, once he opens it up in game, what's going to happen?
What's going to happen to the Texans' offense if no Will Fuller? Who's the beneficiary outside of Hopkins?
Is Bruce Ellington.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Well, Bruce Ellington's pretty good.
Maybe Kiki Kuti.
But
he might not play.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play. Josh Gordon, in or out?
In on a pitch count.
And they're calling for a snap count for Josh Gordon. We'll see. We'll see if that actually happens.
Jermaine Kearse doesn't matter. Sorry, Jermaine. Vance
true,
McDonald and Austin Seferian-Jenkins.
So Vance McDonald, it's I think he's going to be out.
I think Vance will play. I think this is them limiting his reps, but I would not play Vance McDonald week 1.
Right.
Chargers defensive end Joey Bosa could miss week 1 against the Chiefs. This would be good news for Pat Mahomes.
Certainly. The whole Chiefs offense, this would be very good news.
Reminder on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
You'll have game day alerts if you're a member of the FootClan over at jointhefoot.com, as well as Mike's Periscope /YouTube/Facebook/Twitch.
This guy.
Mike will be live on Sunday morning. That's all you need to know. Mike will be live, and you got to follow us on one of those locations. So
if you're on the social media,
you got to be alerted.
You're going to see this guy.
Got to be up to date.
Especially YouTube, people.
Yeah.
We are at 97
something
thousand subscribers.
The March. FootClan. The March is on. The final countdown is on.
Mike has never apologized for enjoying awards.
No, never.
Never apologized for when we won the podcast awards in back-to-back years. Mike did a dance. He loves it. He's an award.
It feels good, man. It feels good.
So what I'm saying is when you hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, they send you a silver play button plaque. It's just a physical award. It's really not that important, and yet
completely meaningless in real life. Well, we'll lift our spirits high.
Yes,
morale boost. Just letting you know, we're not above it.
No.
We're very content. We're happy. Mike is pointing at the camera. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you better subscribe. Get us there. All right. Before we jump into the rest of the fantasy forecast, I'm so excited to talk about these matchups. But first, let's take a minute. Let's thank FanDuel for supporting the show. Look, the football season's underway. We know it. And depending on how each and every week goes, it's fun to have a week-to-week game. It's fun to take the edge off a bad week.
It enhances
when someone disappoints you. It enhances your week-to-week experience, and you spend all this time researching. Might as well put that research to a good effort. Play some on FanDuel. I'm excited to be playing there this year. It's a new season every single week. That's the gist, right? You get to start over every single week. You get to take the edge off a bad week. Regardless of the outcome, you get to research, build your team over and over again. It's fun to play against your friends on FanDuel. They're all about that. It's fun to take what you learned the week before and apply it, try to find value on FanDuel. And look, we got the DFS show that gets you connected to what to do over there. And so right now, new users can get $20 as a bonus when they make the first deposit on FanDuel. Come play with us at FanDuel.com/fantasyfootballers. That's FanDuel.com/fantasyfootballers.
And hey, make sure that you are aware of the incredible website Pristine Auction. Pristine Auction is an auction website where you can bid for and win these super special items that are signed. The signatures are authentically verified. They are 100% verified. And you can get such good deals over there. We have thousands of listeners who are always tweeting us, showing us how they redecorated their their office, their game room, their wherever, or these gifts they got their father or loved one. Every single day, there are hundreds of new auctions. So you just go in, make your bid. It's completely free to bid. And if you win it for an incredible price, it's yours. Here's a list of player-signed jerseys that were all under $100 signed yesterday. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Lev Bell, Amari Cooper, Landry, Hilton, Cobb. I mean, Keenan Allen. It's unbelievable. So check it out. Go to pristineauction.com, Pristine auction.com, and tell them that the Fantasy Footballers sent you.
Fantasy Forecast.
All right, let's start in Cleveland. The Steelers travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are 4-point dogs at home. 44-point over-under. We know the storyline with Le'Veon Bell. He's not going to be out there.
Nope, not this week.
Start your James Conner.
Yep.
But will he, be near there?
One of the things that's interesting is Jason last year, he finished third among fantasy experts in draft accuracy. We had to lock in our draft rankings yesterday afternoon. We're all sitting here we have to make a bet on Lev Bell. So, hey, we might be wrong, but I want to tell you what our bet is. And my bet on Lev Bell is that he reports this week, does not play Sunday, and is playing 15 games. That's my bet. That's what I did with
you have him ranked?
4. You
had him ranked at 4. I moved him down to 8, expecting several games missed. I think that's
sure.
If you got to keep in mind that Ezekiel Elliott missed 6 games last year, and he was the number 9 running back. So even if he misses several, he's still going to be a great back to own.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's our bet on Le'Veon Bell's situation. Here's the situation with the Browns. Their roster is turned over, and guys, I'm doing it.
Andy's almost upset of the week.
I want to hate this so much because I think that the Browns are a facade. But, there's a lot of things here. Lev Bell not being there. Todd Haley as the offensive coordinator previously for the Steelers, now for the Browns. The momentum is there.
I love the Browns in this game. It's the home opener. No Lev Bell. A lot of turnover. A stronger defense. Now, last year wasn't great. We know this. The Browns stunk. So projecting this
wasn't great.
Yeah. Sure. Last year, Big Ben.
That is not false.
Big Ben was 9th among quarterbacks, 17.2 fantasy points per game. They're facing a Browns defense that last year gave up 18.3 per game, which was 3rd worst in the league. So that's a start your Big Ben. Now, Big Ben's on the road.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Right, I know. Yeah, and I have him and Tyrod back-to-back in my rankings. I am starting Tyrod Taylor.
Is that official? Because I know you've been telling me you've been going back and forth.
I have been going back and forth because I think they're both going to have good weeks. I think that the rushing floor with Tyrod, the weapons that he has, new weapons, right? You get Jarvis Landry involved now. Antonio Callaway is a big play guy. You get him, a swing pass, he can take it to the house. There are opportunities here, and I've heard the feedback, guys. I'm listening, FootClan. You think I'm too in on the Browns. But if I'm in on them at all, this is the time to be in on them. Now's the time you make your decisions. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm going in on the Browns in week 1. I know the matchup doesn't look great, but things change year to year, and I like it. So I'm starting my Tyrod. I'm starting my Carlos Hyde. I'm starting my Jarvis Landry.
Carlos Hyde is the question I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
Because the Steelers, when they lost Ryan Shazier last year, that defense, it took a turn. It really took a turn for the worst, and I don't think they've been able to really replace Shazier's position.
They gave up 104.2 yards per game last year, 20th in the league.
And now you have Carlos Hyde, who had a very strong preseason, has the mobile quarterback, which always provides a bump for running backs. You're calling a start of Carlos Hyde.
I do.
What's your range of outcomes? High level running back 2?
No, he could be a 1 this week.
Okay, so
he could end up 10 to 12 range. And yeah, look. There are certain teams, New England, Pittsburgh, Baltimore specifically on defense, that even if they have turnover, They kind of get it together,
right,
but it takes them a few weeks to figure it out. They got a young secondary in Pittsburgh. They're figuring it out. I don't think going on the road against that front. Look, we were talking so much about the offensive line for Cleveland last year. You got a different runner back there. You've got the Tyrod Taylor factor. Look, I don't want to keep talking about it, but that's where I'm at. James Conner, range of outcomes for him. If you had to face, if it's James Conner or Carlos Hyde, who are you taking?
Ooh,
I would
that's
take
a great question.
James Conner in that, but that is not an anti-Hyde take. It's a pro James Conner.
They
are going to try to prove. I mean,
right.
The team is here. I mean, the offensive line, the quotes have talked about how, Lev Bell, you could miss the year. We've got James Conner. He would have been a first-round pick if he didn't get cancer. He's amazing. That offensive line is going to make sure to prove a point that James Conner can get it done. I think Conner is, I've got him at 15 or 16 right now.
Right.
I've got him pretty high.
Any other thoughts on this game? You're starting your Antonio Brown. You're starting your Juju Smith-Schuster?
Juju is I think Juju is a very good start. James Washington has been a little bit banged up, and the matchup is very good for Juju this week.
And for Cleveland, we already kind of talked about Josh Gordon. What's your confidence level to play him as a wide receiver too?
Not high for me.
Okay.
Flex.
Flex okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, if you're one of those 2 flex leagues, I feel a little bit better about it.
Sure.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about another fun matchup this week. Jacksonville travels to New York to take on the Giants. Giants are 3-point underdogs at home, 42.5-point over-under. I'd personally take the under in this game.
I did as well.
Jacksonville, coming off the playoff season, Blake Bortles and company, Leonard Fournette. We've talked a lot about the wide receivers. This week, we get to see them. Are you starting up Keelan Cole and Dante Moncrief, Mike? What decisions are you making on the offensive side of the ball for Jacksonville?
So for Jacksonville, Fournette, easy start. And Keelan Cole, I will play him. I think he has a chance to emerge. We've talked about the range of outcomes for Keelan Cole, and when he was given his opportunity, I mean, he opened the gates and seized the date.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift.
Oh man, the news was breaking.
So I'm interested with Keelan Cole. Moncrief, I'd give him a week to percolate. Let him just sit on my bench and see what's happening with that passing attack.
Jacksonville was 6th in the league last year in points per game. They faced a Giants defense that was real bad. So there's opportunity here, but it's in New York. I know, Jason, you've been more optimistic about the Giants this season, obviously, compared to last year.
I think that the Giants,
would you say they're your Browns?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, they were 3-13 last year. They were almost in the Browns level.
I mean, they had a top pick in the NFL draft, and I expect them to be competing for a playoff position. That being said, I think I have the Jaguars getting to the Super Bowl. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Giants. That's why they're home underdogs. I'm not, look, Saquon's going to be okay, but this isn't going to be a huge game for him. He's going to be involved enough in the passing to be fine. You're always going to start Odell Beckham, but I've got him. People have been like, dude, you've got Odell Beckham outside of a top 12 wide receiver. And it's like, yeah, I mean, Jalen Ramsey has shut guys down. I might move him up a little bit now that Ramsey's dealing with the ankle injury, but it's a tough matchup.
Reports out of New York have Saquon getting a full allotment of snaps, not going to be limited by any of the injury concerns that were there previously.
And if you could beat Jacksonville anywhere last year, it was on the ground.
Yeah.
So he's interesting.
Yeah, what were they last year?
21st.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on. Chiefs, Chargers. We talked about Joey Bosa could miss the game for the Chargers defense. The Chargers are at home and are 3.5-point favorites against Pat Mahomes. It's an interesting game. I've been rising progressively on Tyreek Hill. I think the outcomes for him on the course of the season have moved into that top 8, top 6 range.
Yep.
Because the rapport with Mahomes is legit, and Tyreek Hill is a special player. That's what it comes down to, right? Talent and opportunity, both of those exist for Tyreek Hill. You start him up. You start in Kareem Hunt. You taking any chances with Patrick Mahomes this week, Mike? I mean, are you starting Tyrod Taylor over him?
Yes.
Are you starting Blake Bortles over Pat Mahomes?
That's a good one.
That is a great question, and it depends on what I feel like I need from my quarterback position, because Mahomes could explode, and yet he's going against the third best passing defense from last year, and on top of that, they were near the bottom. I'm talking about the Chargers. So they were a great pass defense, but were real bad on the ground. And Kareem Hunt who rushed for 10 or more yards on nearly 13% of his carries. I mean, Kareem Hunt gouged.
And they were a gougeable defense last year.
Yes. So it lines up.
You don't want to be gougeable.
No.
Nobody wants to be gougeable.
Nope. This matchup is set up for Kareem Hunt. I would try not to play Patrick Mahomes this week.
The one thing going in Patrick Mahomes' favor is the Tyreek Hill
bomb. It's big plays.
Tyreek Hill, over the last 2 years, his home road splits is very interesting. We talk about Big Ben a lot, but Tyreek Hill has been consistently much, much, much better on the road, surprisingly, than at home. He gets over double the touchdowns on the road, far more targets.
That was Alex Smith, though.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. You can throw
that. Weird. It was a weird year.
You can throw that out the window from the standpoint of Alex Smith, but the play calling and the tendency to throw more than run could be an Andy Reid thing as well.
Right.
Sammy Watkins or Dante Moncrief this week?
Whoa, that's a very good question, and will go.
I'm going to take Dante Moncrief because of the matchup, because I'd rather take the flyer, not against the Chargers, but against the New York Giants.
Looking at the Chargers side of the ball, we've talked at length about the Chiefs. Their defense does not look strong. It's going to be a problem. Over under 10 receptions for Keenan Allen.
Over.
Yeah,
I mean, 10's a really good line because I would say about 10. So
yeah.
I'll take the over. The combination, though, of Tyrell Williams and Mike Williams, they're going to be fascinating to watch.
How that shakes out?
Yeah, how it shakes out through the season. In this particular game, I was incredibly close to calling a real deep shot for starts of the week because I love Rivers so much. Tyrell Williams, he was in consideration for me because this is the perfect matchup where Tyrell the Gazelle is going to hit a 50-yard touchdown strike.
I would stand to reason that Mike Williams or Tyrell Williams end up as some of the bigger ads in week 2. Because one of these players is likely to have a big play against this Chiefs secondary and end up on that list. So if you got room, you want to stash it beforehand, maybe you take your shot. You go with Mike's guy Tyrell, or you take a shot on Mike Williams.
Not a bad idea.
You're a big fan of Phillip Rivers, Mike? He's your start of the week.
Yes.
Melvin Gordon's a no-question start, so we don't need to talk about him. Jason, do you have any thoughts on the tight end situation in Los Angeles?
Yeah, don't play him. I mean, no, really.
That's a strong opinion. I mean,
my opinion is
I don't mind it.
You don't play Antonio Gates. You don't play Virgil Green. They're not going – I mean, I think best case for Gates is 2 receptions for 8 yards and a touchdown, and then you won't be upset. But he's going to be eased back onto the field.
But you're going to get sweaty watching that game.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something. I know we got to get into the Redskins Cardinals. I had a dream last night. I had a dream last night. No joke. Goal line carry, Baltimore Ravens. Okay?
For Joe
Flacco turns. Flacco
hands the ball to Lamar.
Flacco turns and hands the ball off. And in the dream, I think it's Alex Collins, and then they zoom up. Is Jason Moore.
Oh, yes!
And Jason Moore
did I score?
Shimmies to the left and does this Madden-style dive across the goal line for a touchdown.
Doing the golf.
And the jersey still says Collins on the back.
That's fine.
But they've let Jason take over.
Nice.
They've let him take over. So,
what did you eat last night?
Look, I've been on a lot of medicine lately. I'm getting over a cold. It's really entertaining in my dreams. But, Jason, good job.
Thank you.
More athletic than people expect.
Did you know last night Devonta Freeman had several opportunities to cross the goal line, failed.
If you would have been in there, who knows?
I got the job done.
You did, and you did.
Awesome.
The Redskins go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals are now 1-point favorites, 44.5-point over-under. Look, you have the debut of several players in this game. Alex Smith, Adrian Peterson, their Redskins debuts. Paul Richardson as well. Jordan Reed is back. Sam Bradford on the Cardinals side of the ball. Chad Williams gets the start. There is a lot of unknown in this game. So, Mike, help illuminate for our listeners where they can count on fantasy production, because that's what it's all about.
So, counts on fantasy production is David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald. That's where you can count. And then you're just starting to get into the world of probability where I think Sam Bradford is a pretty decent play this week against Washington at home. Sam Bradford is he's a week 1 star. He's a good quarterback when he's actually healthy, and he's healthy right now. From the Cardinals side, Ricky Seals-Jones, I also like him a lot, which I've already talked about throughout this week. So that's what I'm looking forward to on the Cardinals side of the ball, and then just seeing how Williams, Christian Kirk shakes out. Similar to Tyrell Williams, Mike Williams, I expect whoever can emerge as the secondary option for Arizona will be a huge add on Tuesday.
All right, Jason, I'm imbuing to you right now a massive love for Alex Smith. You love Alex Smith right this moment.
Okay.
And because of that, you are a glutton for punishment. You want to pick a wide receiver from Washington to start this week.
I know exactly who I would pick. There's no question which wide receiver I would pick.
Floppy Toes?
It would be Floppy Toes Jordan Reed, who is really a wide receiver, but at the tight end position.
Your career is not on the right trajectory when you go from Rule 86 to Floppy Toes.
Rule 86 is –
That's when you need to look in the mirror.
Rule 86 is in effect. Jordan Reed is healthy. You start him when he's in there. I have him plugged in. I was surprised. I did not think that he would be off the injury report and ready to go week 1. But if he is, you play him. And I think that if you look at the defensive, the Cardinals have been good against the tight end, but this is a new defense. They're shifting it around. They've changed, the scheme as Wilkes has come in as a head coach. And you've got Patrick Peterson now looking forward and
playing in the zone scheme. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's where Jordan Reed and Alex Smith will have a good connection against that zone. The wide receivers, I'm not digging Doxson or Richardson. I guess you can flex Crowder and Hope, but I don't think this is a great matchup. The only guy I like is Jordan Reed.
Last year, the Cardinals were very good against the rushing attack of opposing teams. Adrian Peterson, Mike, it's a volume play.
Yeah, if
Chris Carson, Adrian Peterson.
Wow, Chris Carson or Adrian Peterson.
You're not liking either matchup, but you got to take a shot. I probably go Adrian Peterson. If you think Rashad Penny's going to play and take snaps away from Carson, I think you go AP.
I have him back-to-back in my rankings. I think that AP could have a very good game this week. I really do. I know it's a tough matchup, but he has fresh legs. Having the last 2 weeks off, he is still great when he's fresh. And they're on the road. They want to slow the game down. I think he will have enough volume to where if he breaks something or if he gets a touchdown, he's a solid play.
Yeah, Peterson's my choice of those two.
Cowboys, Panthers. In Carolina, Panthers 3-point favorites. I would take the Panthers in this game myself.
All right.
I like them at home. Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, Greg Olsen. That's where my starts stop, so to speak, on the Carolina side of the ball. On the Dallas side, Jason, pick yourself a wide receiver. Mike, pick yourself a wide receiver.
Hearns.
We're going to play roulette with the wide receiving core in Dallas right now.
Yeah, I want to take Gallup.
Really?
If I have to,
Hearns,
I don't want to start any of them.
Gallup,
I would not start a Dallas wide receiver. If I have to
I
start
would take
one,
Williams. So that's the problem.
Exactly. We just explained the problem with the Dallas wide receiver core perfectly. We picked 3 different guys to go with. It's a crapshoot. That's not how you want to start week 1. Those are guys you want to leave on your bench and see how it develops. Find someone else to throw in there.
In the fantasy forecast, we want to help you make decisions on the players you don't know if you're starting or not. To me, the only one that really leaps off the page is Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Because, look, if you drafted Cam, you're starting Cam. You're not questioning that. But Dak is somebody that maybe you took very late. Maybe you have an option to start him or a Phillip Rivers, him or Sam Bradford. What's your confidence level with Dak? This new wide receiver core. No more Jason Witten. No more Dez Bryant. You're on the road.
Yeah,
but you have the rushing floor. He's going to move. He's been able to get in the end zone with his legs. 5 touchdowns the past 2 years. Is Dak somebody that you're just kind of hands off this week?
You're okay with Dak?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't need to start him because there are other better options. I mean, we've talked about it. Tyrod Taylor, I think, is going to be a top 12 quarterback this week. I would rather start Sam Bradford even than Dak. Now, could Dak get that rushing touchdown and finish the week fine?
He's been historically great.
Yes.
when he's playing with Zeke.
But I think you take a hands-off approach right now on Dak.
Bradford or Prescott, Mike?
Bradford.
Dalton or Prescott?
Dalton.
Okay.
That one's and what I'm watching for the Cowboys on top of the wide receivers, the tight end.
What happened?
Yeah, Dak Prescott went short very frequently to Jason Witten. So which one of these Cowboys tight ends will actually emerge as the go-to for Dak? Because I firmly believe that somebody will, and then
become a go-to.
Yeah, someone will become a go-to, and they're going to get 80 targets.
And we still don't know what's going to happen with Keelan Cole and Tavon Austin. There are
Week
so
one.
many mediocre options for Dallas.
Can't
you
wait.
say Keelan Cole?
You did.
Jason?
I did not mean to say Keelan Cole, obviously. I meant to say
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keelan Cole Beasley. You went Wheel of Fortune there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got the half the name right, so I stand by it. Thank you, Brooks.
The Seahawks take on the Broncos in Denver. Broncos are 3-point favorites, 42.5-point over-under. We just talked about Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. The backfield in Seattle has their work cut out for them. Now, people, they want to come out and they say, look, the Broncos, if you're going to beat them, are you going to beat them on the ground?
Nope.
You're going to beat them in the air?
Nope.
How are you going to beat them?
The way that to beat Denver last year was simply outlasting their completely inept offense. That's how you beat the Broncos last year.
It's true.
That's not going to happen this year. The Broncos are going to be an extremely good team. Case Keenum is a more than capable quarterback. He's at home. He's favored against a team that they are not defensively what they were last year. Case Keenum is interesting to me, as if you are scraping the bottom of the barrel for looking for a start. Maybe you're looking for a more like a DFS start. But Case Keenum with Demaryius Thomas, with Emmanuel Sanders, it's very intriguing to me. If he ends up in the top 15, I will not be surprised at all.
I don't want to underestimate Seattle's defense.
Especially now that Earl Thomas has reported.
I would take the under in this game. I think it's still going to be a learning process for Case Keenum. You got your first live snaps in a game that matters with Thomas and Sanders and Sutton. The weapons are there, but this is game one. So I wouldn't touch a new quarterback like Keenum in this situation, just like I don't want to touch Alex Smith this week. That's my personal take. I'm looking at Jake Butt, and I cannot lie. I want to see what he does. I want to see what Case Keenum.
But you're not starting.
No. I'm looking at him. I'm just checking it.
He's
walking by.
You're just admiring him.
Yeah, Samsonite. Let's go to the.
Well, you can't. Come on, you can't skip over Royce Freeman.
No. I'm okay. All right, let's stay there.
Start him.
I agree.
Thanks, Mike.
Start him.
No, I agree. And the thing is we've got a new start-sit tool, and we could see who people are having their decisions over. And Royce Freeman is one of the most common guys search. Should I play Royce Freeman or this guy? Royce Freeman or this guy? And Royce Freeman is, I think, a good option this week. I agree with Andy. I've kind of been writing off the Seahawks defense to an egregious level because they have lost so many pieces. But with Earl Thomas coming back, they're going to be able to scheme things up a little bit more. And, that being said, Royce Freeman's a good player, and he's now the starter, and I would be 100% fine playing him.
Royce Freeman or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
I'll go Royce Freeman.
Royce Freeman or Marshawn Lynch?
That one's super close.
I'll take Marshawn.
I'm going to go Freeman there.
All right, last one. Marshawn, or I apologize, Royce Freeman or Carlos Hyde?
I'll take
Freeman.
Hyde. See,
Ooh,
look,
split.
this is the fun of you can go use the start-sit tool.
Yeah.
You can ask any question you want for as long as you want. Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, people want to know your confidence level on starting them in this game.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
For both?
Yeah.
Both guys are what? Wide receiver twos?
Yes. Two with one upside.
All right, the Bears take on the Packers in Green Bay, Sunday Night Football. Mitch Trubisky. Nobody beats him.
Nobody beats Mitch.
Jordan Howard, Mike. He's the pump the brakes this week.
If you look back last year, Jordan Howard averaged about 52 yards on the ground, I believe, against the Green Bay Packers. He did score in one of those games, and a rushing touchdown solves all things. Just ask Jay Ajayi. But that's my concern with Jordan Howard is that the Packers can stop the run. Their secondary is much better, and then game script Game script is going to be against Jordan Howard.
The only counterpoint I would say to that is that Jordan Howard is a must start. I mean, I agree that you can temper expectations, but I don't want people to hear what you're not saying. Jordan Howard is a guy that, look, this is a new revamped Chicago Bears offense, and yes, Green Bay looked better in preseason with their defense, but they're not some defense that you should be scared of. The game script, maybe, if
Green Mike Bay brought up Jordan Howard, his pump the brakes on Howard translates to a trade target in week 2. That's what it translates to.
Sure.
I don't think anybody can sit him. I wouldn't sit him.
I
don't even agree with him. I think he's going to be great.
I've got him as my number 13 running back this week, so I'm pretty confident. I mean, he's one of my guys.
One of the players we haven't talked about is Allen Robinson. We haven't got to see a lot of him.
It's because it's impossible to talk about him.
He just seems like he's been drafted. He's just drafted in a certain place.
He's the shadow.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Allen Robinson? Are you good? Are you bad?
Guess we're going to find out.
Are you going to be involved? Not are you, but how involved? Are you going to dominate? Are you going to get a 25% target share from Trubisky? There are so many questions about Allen Robinson. That's why his draft price has been so ambiguous.
But he is a guy he's a guy that you're going to start in week 1. This is not a very bad matchup for him. And if you believe what you believe with the game script, where the points are going to be coming for Green Bay, they're going to need to throw the ball. I think Allen Robinson, I see him as a wide receiver too. Right, I see him right where his draft stock was coming into this week. So I'm fine there, and I'm really excited. The player I'm most excited for in this entire matchup is certainly Trey Burton. This is where we get to see all the projections of he's going to be the pass-catching tight end. Maybe Allen Robinson isn't as great as he was several years ago, and I think Trey Burton is very involved and has a great week.
It will be very interesting to see Khalil Mack's impact on the rushing defense for
just the defense as a whole, too.
Well, the defense as a whole, but specifically the Bears struggled in the places that the Packers were great last year. The Packers could run the ball up the middle last year. Didn't matter what running back was there. And the Bears gave it up in the middle of the defensive front. And that'll be the test this week because Jamal Williams, he's primed to have a good game. Aaron Jones is out.
Start.
He's a strong start. I agree with you on that. I don't think people know what to do with Ty Montgomery or Randall Cobb. Are they stash or trash to you?
They're stash.
Both of them.
Yeah, Randall Cobb can be a flex.
Yeah, both of them are. And the last thing I want to say on Allen Robinson is get ready. I don't think any other player in the NFL will have the biggest swing of opinion. This is where we're going to set the baseline for Allen Robinson. If he has a bad game, he's off. People are going to write him off for at least half of the fantasy season. If he has a great game, he's going to be
the new hotness.
He's going to be the new hotness, and everyone's going to want him, and he's going to be completely overvalued. So make sure you stay temperate no matter what Allen Robinson does this week. Keep your head.
Keep your head. When the shadow emerges, just be ready.
The shadow knows.
Hey, guys, how about 2 games on Monday night this week? Why don't you double up? You want to double up?
Double up. No one gave it to me.
I
did it physically.
I was waiting for Jason.
Jason gave me a silent double head nod.
You're welcome, and you got to go to the YouTube to check that one out.
The Jets and Lions, the Rams and Raiders on Monday Night Football will start with the Jets and Lions. Sam Darnold gets to make his debut on Monday Night Football. I'm excited for this game. I think that the Jets are the second best team in that division, which is saying almost nothing. However, Darnold, Crowell, Pryor, all new faces to this Jets offense going against a Detroit team that I think we're expecting big things from Matthew Stafford. We expect consistency from Golden Tate and Marvin Jones, but there are question marks on both of these rosters. Who do you feel most confident, and who are you watching for?
I feel very confident in all of the pass-catching options for Detroit. I love Matthew Stafford. Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, I think that they're going to have a good game. I see Detroit winning this game easily, and a lot of times you go, well, then that's more of the running game. But you get there in the first half, having beat them through the air. On the Jets side, the guy that I'm actually most confident in, and it might surprise you, but I'm most confident in Bilal Powell. I think that if
I don't hate it,
if the Detroit Lions are out,
who's that again?
Blow, blow,
blow, blow.
If If the Detroit Lions do get out to a lead and they try to LeGarrette Blount their way in the second half, you're going to need a dink and dunk with, Sam Darnold, and that probably will be Bilal Powell on the field, not Isaiah Crowell. So I'm curious about Crowell, but I would start Bilal Powell over Crowell. That's not to say I think he will definitely finish higher, but I worry about the floor of Crowell.
It's going to be interesting. Bilal Powell's certainly been one of the more trending names, trending ads.
Yes.
The vibes around Bilal Powell are all positive right now. I'm curious to see how much the Jets commit to Crowell in game one. I think that's going to be, look, it's a kind of an Ajayi Clement situation here where, or Sproles, where what's Powell's role going to be?
Yeah.
Elijah McGuire was supposed to have a big role in this backfield. He's gone.
He's on the IR.
And Powell is reliable, but not often flashy. So it will be interesting to see. I'm with you. Heat check on Robbie Anderson. You starting him in this game?
I'm hoping to not. I want to see.
I lean that way.
You're doing what you can not to.
I want to see what Sam Darnold's tendencies are and who his go-to guy is. You just don't know yet. You've never seen an NFL game with him. So if you can sit Robbie Anderson, if you drafted Terrell Pryor or Quincy Enunwa, I do not want to start any of the pass-catching options from the Jets.
I'm with Jason. I guess maybe you'll start Crowell, but I'm with Jason. But my confidence in the Jets for fantasy is Bilal Powell this week.
Can you play LeGarrette Blount?
No. No. I mean, you can physically. You can click that button, but I've set up some scripts on my computer that make it very hard. You have to hold 3 keys down and push the button to get him in the lineup. I'm not doing it.
And we haven't even mentioned one of my guys, Kerryon Johnson, who look, I think he's a great player. I think he will win out. If he ends up having a good game, I won't be surprised. But he's on all of my benches this week. I believe it will take several weeks before he takes over in the touches category.
So
for
many
the
benches.
Lions.
So many.
The thing about Kerryon is I was getting a lot of reports from people on Twitter jumping in the timeline saying Kerryon's getting dropped. So I know that sounds egregious to the majority of people, but if you're listening to this podcast, just give your waiver wire a little peek and see if Kerryon happens to be there.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Rams, Raiders, last year, the Rams set the world on fire. 122 rushing yards a game, 239 passing yards a game. Jared Goff was 10th among quarterbacks in fantasy points per game, and the Raiders gave him up. The Raiders no longer have Khalil Mack, but it is the debut of their new head coach.
But they got a lot of old guys.
Well, look, again, the Raiders are very similar, I feel like, to the Seahawks in as much as there's a mood. At least in this studio, there seems to be a Gruden mood, at least emanating from mostly Mike, and Jason puts off a lot of heat, so I feel some Gruden mood over there.
It's my Gruden moodin'.
I am not on board with you guys on that.
Of our anti...
I'm not anti-Gruden.
I'm not anti-Gruden. I'm anti-Olson.
Foil, and he's fun to talk about, and he's fun to make fun of. But I'm not certain that I think he may make a big impact on this team, and I think that they might be a lot better. Look, I have Derek Carr as one of the guys that I brought up in my bold predictions as a QB1 this year. Yeah, but I'm not as excited about this week. No, I'm not.
Matchup.
Look, the Rams, they're a remade secondary. They have an amazing defensive front. It's going to be tough sledding for their entire offense.
They have unlimited cap money?
Unlimited. I don't know how they unlocked that. That's like an achievement.
They tried to get Khalil Mack to add to Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. Let's get the 3 best pass rushers.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man.
So expectations are tempered for Oakland. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Especially, look at what happened last night. It's week 1. There's going to be some ugly football. This is a game that could be kind of ugly, I think. I would take the under on the 49.5. I really would. I think that it might take Brandon Cooks, new face, new rapport with Jared Goff. I would take the Rams to win this game, and I would take the under. And I think that it's going to be tough sledding for all the – I think you have to pull the points back basically for every Raider, including Amari Cooper, another player that fits in that Allen Robinson category, Mike.
Yeah.
Where the reaction from week 1 Amari Cooper is going to be through the roof.
You are correct.
And you could probably take advantage of it in the trade market.
Absolutely. If Amari Cooper has a bad week, I will be trading for Cooper
Now,
left,
do
right,
you
and
another statement in the Gruden list
Got the statement
of it seems like they are now committing to Seth Roberts as the slot wide receiver. I mean, that's unfortunate news for Amari Cooper. When he thrived, Cooper, it's because you were moving him around and you let him do some work from the slot as well. So when they're going 3 wide and if they do lock Roberts in and they keep Cooper on the outside, that's very disappointing.
All right. Hey, I want to announce something. Got a little bit of a surprise announcement. We've got the giveaway winners for the DeAndre Hopkins signed jersey, couple copies of Madden, and the ultimate draft kit for life.
Oh, mercy.
Dustin won the Hopkins jersey.
Dustin,
I don't have the last name.
Well, we don't want to give him out.
TJ won a copy of Madden. Mark H won a copy of Madden.
But
and
who got the UDK for life?
The winner of the ultimate draft kit for life is Cole Sixberry.
Cool.
Good old Cole Sixberry.
So there will be a lineage of Sixberries throughout the generations.
7 berries, 8 berries.
Doesn't even matter how
Strawberries.
many. They'll all have the UDK. So congratulations to everybody who entered. We'll put some new giveaways up. We'll give away some new autograph merch. It'll be fun. We do that all the time. I love giving stuff away.
It's fun.
If I could give fantasy points away, I would. We try on this show. Essentially, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you fantasy points. So without further ado, it is Friday. Let's get into the Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose, brought to you by Draft.
So speaking of giving away, every Friday, the 3 of us jump in a triangle match of death where we are going head-to-head on using the Draft app, and I would love to give a cup of water to each of your faces.
Oh, well, you have to win, Mike. That's the part you never remember
really
that part.
Tough. Did you forget who you're playing against?
No, I did not.
The humblest of winners over here, myself and Jason.
So we're firing up this draft. We are rolling with the expert settings because there's only 3 of us, and what that does is it takes the top 10 quarterbacks out, top 20 running backs.
Oh, there's no Tyrod in there?
No, I'll bet he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm just playing.
Pretty sure he's available. It looks like I have the first pick, but the expert settings it's certainly throwing a monkey wrench in my plans.
So we'll blitz through this.
Certainly, but so with the number 1 pick, I don't know how he's still there, but Joseph Nixon
he's
against
a clear
the Indianapolis
number 1
Colts.
expert.
I love it.
He is clearly a great pick. I mean, he's the guy that I was hoping would get to me, obviously. Unfortunately, he did not. I am going to go wide receiver at the number 2 spot and
Don't take
Adam
my guy.
Thielen.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm excited.
So there's 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
There's still plenty of Browns available, Andy.
That is true.
Duke's there.
All right. I'm trying.
You're trying? You're stumbling and bumbling?
All right, here we go. I've got...
Because you got 2 picks.
Yeah, my app hadn't updated for a split second there. I'm taking
that's a good one.
T.Y. Hilton.
Oh,
I
like
like that matchup.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to slip over to the running back side. I'm going to take Lamar Miller. I'm going to go volume play.
I like that. I was hoping he would come back to me.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind that. I almost went with Dion Lewis last time I was around here. I like the matchup in Miami. I like that he's a pass catcher going to score. So he is now on my roster.
Nice.
Oof. All right. The news flip-flopped yet again on this particular player, running back for the New England Patriots. There was a beat reporter that was talking up Rex Burkhead, says the team feels like he is going to be a star this year and that he could have played. He could, if it wasn't the preseason, then he absolutely could have played. So now my running backs are full. I'm flipping it over to the wide receiver position, and he's my start of the week.
Yeah, I knew you were.
I'm grabbing Golden Tate.
That makes a lot of sense because he was your start of the week. I'm going to take his counterpoint, and I'm going to take Marvin Jones, and one of us will be very happy, and one of us will be disappointed when that touchdown goes.
I'm sorry, Jason.
Maybe it'll go to Kenny Galladay.
Then we'll both be sad.
I took Kirk Cousins with my next pick.
Oh, come on.
Wanted to grab the best quarterback on the board
but
right now.
I needed the stack. I needed the Thielen.
Well, then you should have taken it, Jason.
I didn't think anyone was going quarterback.
You know what? I'm going to give Allen Robinson a shot in this game.
I think you should.
I'm going to take a shot with Allen Robinson to round out my roster.
Yeah,
while you guys make a pick. I still got one more.
Don't mind it. I am on
Cousins,
the
Miller,
clock now.
Hilton,
I can get a
Robinson.
quarterback or a running back is what I need. And mercy. There are not a lot of guys that I love on the list here. So since I'm running out of time, I'm going to take a quarterback, and I'm going to take Russell Wilson. He is still available. I realize the matchup's not great.
Yeah,
but when you're Russell Wilson, you've got the chance at that all the scramble yardage and deep
all
bomb
the scrambles.
Ooh,
I'm looking. Brown. So I got to get a wide receiver or tight end and a quarterback. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the huge upside of Amari Cooper and just try and if he can score. I just need one play from you, Amari Cooper. That means I got
Jason's team is Russell Wilson, Deion Lewis, Adam Thielen, Marvin Jones right now. Mike is making his last pick very slowly. Joe Mixon, Rex Burkhead, Golden Tate, and Amari Cooper. Mike, you're going to make the wrong pick. Just pick somebody.
The fact that he took Russell Wilson right there is upsetting to me. I'm going Homer.
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
All right, Jason, you got your final pick?
I do. I'm going to take Bilal Powell, the guy that I said I was confident in.
Good.
It's a half-point format.
And I'm taking James White. I think I'm going to lean into my Burkhead, pump the brakes in week 1. James White will be on the field a ton. My team is Cousins, Miller, White, Hilton, and Robinson.
There you go. I've got Russell Wilson, Deion Lewis, Bilal Powell, Adam Thielen, and Marvin Jones.
And I have Sam Bradford, Mixon, Burkhead. I'm loving that. And then Tate, Amari Cooper.
All right, that is it for today's episode. Tune in on Sunday morning to the live stream. Go to YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and basically click the bell, and you'll know when Mike is live on Sunday morning. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend. I can't wait to recap the games with you on Monday. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Hey, good luck.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.